Finally, I was healthy enough to explore Hiroshima. We only had 1 day left, and this was the saddest day for me of our 3 months journey through Japan. Since 2018, we were saving up money for our wedding and our honeymoon in Japan. We planned everything for April 2020, but then Corona took over the world, and it changed everything. We still got married, but no party or honeymoon. And Japan was closing its borders for a long time. So we postponed our journey again, and again, and again. And I admit I was ugly crying at least 2 times, because I always dreamed of going on a honeymoon traveling adventure. But then, in October 2022, Japan officially opened its borders again, and we could finally start planning and fly over to Japan for our 3 months honeymoon. And if you like, you can follow us through our 3 months journey through Japan. And this is part 29. After being in bed most of the week in Hiroshima, the day finally came where I can explore the city.
So this is our real first day in Hiroshima after I was sick for at least 2 full days. The first day my husband had an injury in his back, so we needed to rest a little bit more, because the first day when we arrived we actually did quite a lot of shopping in retro game stores and book offs, just stores where you can buy used anime merch and stuff like that. And one store was a little bit I'm not sure if it was the outskirts, but not in the center of Hiroshima. So we arrived home at 9 p.m. after a really busy and full day. And then the day when my husband was resting, my nose started running, and then that night was just awful. And the next day he got me medicine. I was resting for 2 full days. We were just at home in our Airbnb. And then the last, yesterday, we went out a little bit because I felt better, but I didn't want to pressure myself. I still took care of myself, that it was not too much. And today is the only day left in Hiroshima, and the weather is bad. It's raining. So really lucky coincidence, but we are trying to make our best in doing all the sightseeing that you have to see in Hiroshima, at least today. The only highlight during my sick days was cat drama in the neighborhood, because the cats in our neighborhood were having a fight. It was hilarious, because those cat videos when they're just meowing aggressively at each other, and for a really long time, and it happened again and again. And then we were looking out of the window. I was fulfilling this German stereotype at spying at our neighbors, and I was looking outside and I saw this one cat who had her fur was in gray tiger pattern, so we call her Tiger, and the other cat who was mainly white with a few spots, so we call her Spot. And Spot was living with its owner in the last floor of a building and was hanging around the balcony, but Tiger was coming again and again to start some beef. And then the owner came back again and yelling at the other cat, taking a broomstick to just chase it away and stuff like that. But Tiger came again and again, because I think there was some unfinished business for Tiger, that he was really eager to tell Spot what the fuck he did. Maybe it was jealousy because Spot got an owner, got free food, got a warm place to stay. Maybe Spot slept with his wife, or not taking care of Tiger's babies. We don't know, we never know. But this was on my mind the whole time. The only highlight I had, including playing a little bit of the Game Boy games and admiring my Japanese special edition of Taylor Swift's album Lover. But now we take a look at the castle and the koi fish in the pond right before me.
Our first destination, Hiroshima Castle. First, we had to walk through the park, and we mainly admired the koi fish. did enjoy seeing those koi fish. And then we arrived at Hiroshima Castle. Right next to the castle was the Gokoku Shrine. And it had a lot of koi fish omikuji. My husband had to buy one. The shrine was founded in 1869 and under a different name, Futaba no Sato. It was established to mourn the Hiroshima Han victims of the Boshin War. In 1934, it was relocated and renamed to Gokoku Shrine. And because it was destroyed under the atomic bomb in 1945, it was rebuilt within the confines of Hiroshima Castle in 1965. My husband didn't need to bind his omikuji anywhere because he pulled luck. And we also bought an ema, one of the wooden plates that you see around shrines, as decoration for our home. Very touristy. When we walked further around the castle island, we walked into a smaller festival-like event. And we surely don't say no to any Japanese street food.
Now first bite of our Yakiniku street food.
Grilled meat on a stick, count us in. But no concerned eyebrows.
It could have been a little bit warmer, but it tastes good.
Then we walked to our next destination, Hiroshima Peace Park. First sight, Genbaku Dome, the Hiroshima Peace Memorial. The structure of this building remained standing on August 6th, 1945, when the atomic bomb hit Hiroshima at 8:15 a.m. The ruins of the hall serves as a memorial to the over 140,000 people who were killed in the bombing. The ruins are preserved as a reminder of the horrors and suffering that come with nuclear warfare. Seeing Hiroshima being such a nice town with a cozy charm, it's hard to imagine what had happened here 80 years ago, and all the stories of the people who fell victim to the bomb. Like Sadako Sasaki, who got honored by the paper cranes in Child Peace Memorial. She was 2 years old when the atomic bomb hit and had to deal with the long-term problems from the radiation of the atomic bomb. She was diagnosed with leukemia. A Japanese legend says if you fold 1,000 paper cranes, you'll be granted one wish. So she was making origami cranes with every paper that she was able to get. She exceeded her goal, but passed away at the age of 12. She was one of the many young children who developed leukemia due to the radiation exposure.
So now we are at the Peace Park in Hiroshima, and for us it has like a really kind of deep meaning, to be honest. Obviously because of Hiroshima's history, it's a place that you have to visit, I think. But given the circumstances, what's happening in Europe, the war in Ukraine, and all the threat that Europeans in general are feeling, and especially so many people are suffering because of this war, it just reminds you of like what kind of destruction is happening, what is like happening in this war. And I just feel extremely sad. There's still like the museum that we have to go to, but I think it's like a really good place to visit either Hiroshima or Nagasaki, which is on our list as well. As soon as we are in Kyushu, we go there too, to just be reminded of what is the ultimate result of war, and that's just like suffering from so many people. And I feel always like helpless and frustrated because normal people like us don't have much power compared to the people in charge, like rich people, politicians, military. It's like just this small group of people that causes so much destruction in this world, and so many people have to suffer. And one of my friends is actually Ukrainian, and I remember, because it's like one of my daily routines to check the news, and I was already last year in January really worried about the situation in Ukraine. And I remember that we did like a Zoom meeting with all our friends, and I asked her like, how's the situation in Ukraine? She was like, oh, it's just like it's always been since 2014. It's like a normal state for them. It's like they don't know why suddenly the media is making a fuss about what is happening in Ukraine. And then in February I remember reading the news about Russia going into Ukraine, and the first thing that popped into my mind is like the family and friends of my friend. And I was like texting her like, is everybody okay? And I was really nervous. And I think a lot of people in our generation, younger people, are just so afraid nowadays, because there's like one crisis after another happening, and you cannot really plan that much for the future because you don't know what is happening. There's like war going on, there was like corona that had to be overcome, then inflation, finances, and then there's like in the back of the future, like the climate crisis, like waving like, hey guys, I'm here too, don't forget about me. And I feel it's like just too much going on, and war is like one of those many things that could be avoided if the people in charge on top would just stop it. Okay, this was my little Weltschmerz rant, and I hope that a lot of other people also feel helpless and desperate and frustrated and sad, just like we are, like I do. Yeah.
Then we bought 2 tickets to the Hiroshima Peace Memorial Museum. The exhibition shows the belongings of the victims and photos of this terrible historic event. This shows the horror of this bombing by highlighting all the small stories of the everyday people who have fallen victim to the bombing. To highlight the contrast, the exhibition also showed Hiroshima before and after the bombing. includes a section of today's nuclear warfare and the dangers of these weapons. A peace watch in the entrance hall reminds us of how much time has passed after the last atomic bomb test.
It was a really good exhibition, but it really lies heavy on your soul. If you go out and see like out in the park again and realizing just the size of the bomb and how much it impacted Hiroshima, you cannot comprehend this level of destruction. And also I was not filming everything because there were so many photographs of victims, some of survivors, and their injuries, that it was very graphic, and I can imagine that it could be triggering for some people, but it shows just a real picture of what war does to people, all the suffering, especially those people who just were living their normal life. And it was really hard to see the clothing of children and their personal items and the stories behind them. There was a small bento box, for example, that this young boy was never able to eat, but he was looking forward to its lunch, and stories like that is just heavy. That's the only thing that I can say to this exhibition. But regarding times like this, where war or the threat of a bigger war or bigger crisis that comes with everything, just go to any exhibition that you can go. In Germany we have a lot of exhibitions like that because of our history and the responsibility that lays on our nation too. That was pretty similar with personal stories, so yeah, there's nothing much to say, because I actively try to avoid for a certain time news about Ukraine, because I was not able to have a peaceful mind. So you really need a good balance to take care of your mental health regarding crises like this, and having, I don't know, a realistic view about things that are going on. Yeah.
Very close to the museum, we went to a local restaurant that offers Okonomiyaki Hiroshima-style. Okonomiyaki in Hiroshima has a few more ingredients like noodles, and you can watch how it's freshly made. And seeing the steam coming up, my heart got a little bit lighter. Crispy. My husband chose additional toppings for his okonomiyaki. It's so steamy, it's getting onto my lens. Here, a much clearer view. And now we are cutting it into pieces with these small spatulas. See a bite-sized piece of this delicious regional specialty. Time to be num-num-numming. And to pour some sauce on it. And some mayo. Our last stop of today is the Hiroshima Pokémon Center. It has the red shiny Gyarados as their regional Pokémon mascot. In 2016, I bought the regional limited Pokémon plushie here, but we couldn't find anything like that when we visited. We had fun though, but had to back home. But two things we bought that you actually can't find in other places like Don Quixote too. Two Pokemon surprise bathing bombs.
All Eevee evolutions. Or like I like to say, evolutions. Never forget that everything is wrapped in plastic here.
Of course, the bomb was shaped like a Pokeball.
What? Happening so fast.
I was very excited when I saw Sylveon coming through, as you just heard. Too steamy again. The other one we got out was Vaporeon. I call this a great success. All time to boost my immune system. I got me all these Poké lemon shots. Then some vitamin gel. I mean, it has over 12 different and important vitamins. You can't go wrong with that. And also, we didn't forget about the minerals. No, not here. So, this is what I'm going to consume daily for the next few days. Thank you for watching.
I choose you.
Just in case before I forget it, I mentioned it in a previous Osaka vlog. This was the cutest little street fence that we saw. And it was here in Hiroshima with Tony Chopper. If you want to follow us on our journey, take a look at our 3 months Japan playlist on the left. Or you click on the video on the right if you want to know how the last 2 days with Hiroshima were like. And you could also subscribe if you're here. Would be nice. Thank you.